Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Health. Will the Minister update the House on how our national health response to COVID-19, and in particular, how the Morrison Government recognises and thanks the remarkable work of our medical and healthcare workers who have kept Australians safe through 2020?
The Minister for Health.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I particularly want to thank the member for Chisholm. Through much of the early part of the COVID pandemic, she was one of the great forces of community glue in this country, and she stood for Chinese Australians along with many others and provided that support, provided that rallying point, and I want to thank her for that. I want to acknowledge around the world we've now passed well over 68 million cases of COVID. We've passed over 1.56 million lives lost. In the last 24 hours, 640,000 cases and over 12,000 lives lost. In Australia, at the same time as we've seen 12,000 lives lost, 0 cases in ICU, 0 Australians with COVID-19 on ventilation, and 0 cases across the country within the community. On that basis, we owe an enormous debt of gratitude and thanks to our health workers. On behalf of the government, on behalf of the parliament, on behalf of all Australians, I want to say my thanks to our amazing health and medical workers around the country. I particularly, as just an example, think of my own area, my own electorate, Peninsula Health. In particular, Tresna Cuttress, the nurse unit manager at Frankston Hospital, and I choose her because she's been an inspiring leader. Interestingly, it's a very similar role to the one my mother had in the same hospital half a century ago. And what Tresna has done, she received the first COVID patient into her ward in Peninsula Health. She helped train a team. She helped keep that team safe. She helped keep people on the peninsula safe. She led our nurses to perhaps, in my view, their highest moment since the Second World War. They have been amongst the finest of Australians at the greatest of need, and they have been extraordinary. Along with our doctors, Dr Peter Kelly, who has led the infectious diseases ward at Frankston Hospital and across Peninsula Health, has worked on infection control and has worked on that safety. The CEO, Felicity Top, but all of the nurses, all of the doctors, all of the orderlies and attendants, everybody within that facility. And across Australia, our pharmacists who stayed open, our pathologists who've been on the front line, or our specialists, our physios, our allied health workers. These are the Australians that have helped keep other Australians safe. This has been the hardest of years, but I believe it has been the finest of years. And above all else, we thank our health workers, our medical workers and our nurses.
The Minister's time has concluded.